Welcome to the Wolf Daily News Channel. Ukrainian warriors do not give a dime about Russian invaders. It looks like the Russian army stuck on the Ukrainian soil. The Ukrainian army's among the remarkable commences that is marching to victory. Step by step, the hero soldiers of Ukraine defeated the Russian army again yesterday. Paratroops destroyed the Russian invaders near Bamo. Members of the 71st Separate Brigade of the air assault troops of the Ukrainian armed forces eliminated the Russian invaders near Bamo in the Donetsk region. In the statement made by the Ukrainian authorities, it was said that the unmanned aerial vehicles of the 71st Separate Brigade of the air assault units of the Ukrainian armed realized that the enemy manpower was concentrated in the Bama region. The coordinates were immediately sent to the Brigade Mortuary and the K-Krab Self-Ed Hauser team. The explosion of 155 mm shells drove the invaders to a farm where our mortars were already. Subsequently, the plantation was cleared by paratroops assault units as reported from February 24, 2022 to January 22, 2023. The Ukrainian armed forces eliminated approximately 120,760 Russian invaders, 600 of whom were soldiers in the past. The military units are being created in the armed forces of Ukraine to be equipped with new Western equipment, joint forces. Commander Lt. General Sahinev said we need a lot of Western tanks that are much better than Soviet models and can help us move forward. We are forming new military units and our next actions will depend on their combat readiness. This is why Western help is extremely important. He noted that the Ukrainian army should train units on new equipment, and I integrated into their existing formations. NA said the whole unit should be equipped with the same Wiggles, so a whole battalion should be equipped with Bradleys or Leopard if we get. As reported at the 8th meeting of the Ukrainian Defense Contact Group on January 20, the heads of the defense organizations of more than 60 countries did not agree on the supply of Leopard tanks. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said that an appropriate decision could be taken in the near future. At the same time, Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov reported that agreements were concluded with Poland and England to launch training missions to the Ukrainian crews on the Leopard and Challenger tanks respectively. Although the Russian army's weakened, it is trying to continue its attacks under pressure. Russian forces are conducting unsuccessful offensive actions in three directions in. The Russian army focuses its main efforts on the backout direction and conduct unsuccessful offensive operations in the Sapia, Oka, and Lyman directions. A shared report said the Russian army carried out 5 air strikes on defense force positions during the day and 1 missile attack on critical infrastructure in Zia region. It carried out more than 20 attacks using multiple launch rocket. The threat of air and missile strikes by the Russian Federation on civilian objects remains high throughout Ukraine. The Russian army focuses its main efforts on conducting an offensive in the direction of Bak. The aggressor carries out unsuccessful offensive actions in Sapia, aka, and Lyman directions on the N directions. The enemy holds the defense during the day. The Air Force struck 3 areas of concentration of enemy personnel, rocket units, and artillery units struck 2 areas of the attackers' concentration and 2 ammunition depots. The ongoing war in Ukraine started to make its presence felt in every field since October. Ukrainian ports have to work with less than half of their capacity. In Ukraine cannot export 2 to 3 million tons of grain to the world market every month. Chairman of the Tax and Customs Policy Committee said since October, Ukrainian ports have had to work with less than a half of their capacity, and the volume of about 2 to 3 million tons is not exported to the world market every month. According to him, nearly 120 ships were currently waiting for inspection. Bus 4s. The average time is between 2 and 5 weeks, resulting in losses for cargo owners. However, he stressed that the attempt of the Russian Federation to organize the Hunger Games cannot stop Ukraine. Head Moon reminded that Ukraine plans to provide grain to more than 5 million people by the end of spring, under the Grain from Ukraine program designed to prevent famine in African and Asian. 30 countries participated in the program. The total amount of contributions has already reached almost 200 million as reported. The Grain from Ukraine program was initiated by the President of Ukraine, Zelensky. It ensures the purchase of Ukrainian grain by partner countries. And as transferred to states in humanitarian crisis, the program is run in partnership with the World Food Programme under the auspices of the United Nations. As if the travel in Ukraine wasn't enough, Russian officials are about to unite more tensions. Russia said in a statement that negotiations with the Ukraine are now impossible. Moscow refuses to chance to negotiate with Kyiv and the war that Vladimir Putin started in. Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters on Monday that talks between Russia and Ukraine are no longer impossible as there are no de facto or legal conditions. The news agency listened today to messages from Kyiv saying that on behalf of Ukraine, we know the legal justification for the impossibility of negotiations and that, de facto, something can be agreed. There are no conditions for such negotiations. Peskov's comments came after Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov accused Kyiv of refusing peace talks during a visit to South Africa. Last week, Lavrov said that the conflict will end only when Ukraine is no longer a military threat to Moscow. Ukrainian President Zelensky has drafted a 10-point peace plan that includes the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine, as well as a prisoner exchange. Of course, the regime in Russia should say that peace talks are not possible at the moment. After all, they will be persecuted for war crimes. So there seems to be no give up on the war in Ukraine. Negotiations between Russia and Ukraine were never possible. War criminals in the Kremlin do nothing but lie. Russia warned the US against the most dangerous road in Ukraine. A top Russian diplomat has accused the United States of waging psychological warfare as it leads the way in expending military assistance to Ukraine with advanced weapons, including main battle tanks and long-range missiles. Currently in talks with key Russian Deputy for Foreign Minister Sergei said on Monday that deepening Washington's support for Kyiv is dangerous and could have unintended consequences. Russia State, All News Agency reported. Rebecca specifically addressed the debut over the supply of the MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System, AWACS, a long-range missile with a range of about 200 miles, which the White House has so far refused to send to Ukraine. Rebecca said that of those who went back and forth between Kyiv and Washington regarding the missile system, this is an element of psychological warfare. In the essence of intensifying hybrid warfare against Russia by the US-led collector, West, Rebecca added that climbing is the most dangerous path. Ukrainian authorities have long demanded AWACS, which can be fired to the same nature, supplied multiple launch rocket systems, MLRS, which caused a lot of damage in deep attacks on Russian troops, concentrations, and supply centers. Western MLRS systems operated by currently have a maximum range of 60 miles when using guided multiple launch rocket system. AWACS will more than triple this range by putting key Russian position in northern approaches in Crimea into striking range. Some of America's NATO allies are urging Washington to unblock Ukraine from providing AWACS. Referring to AWACS in December, Estonian Foreign Minister Urmas Reinsalu said, it was time to deliver long-range missiles without political warnings. And on January 11, ahead of the last meeting of the Ukrainian Defense Contact Group at the U.S. Air Base in Rui, Germany Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gaius Lensbergis wrote on social media, Ukraine has worn lot of our support and respect time to dispatch the AWACS missiles and unleashed the Leopards. Second, it was a reference to the German-made tank that was much desired by Ukraine. Colin Cole, on the Secretary of State for Policy at the Department of Defense, said on January 23. Washington and Kyiv are in ongoing talks on how to expand Ukraine's long-range offensive capabilities. Thank you for watching the video. If you find it useful, please comment and share the video for us. It will make our channel more known. See you in the following videos. Thank you very much.